Hello, everyone. Welcome to Myriacast episode 21. We are going to be talking about the Xbox Games Showcase from last Thursday today, as well as some other gaming news from last week or before then. We've got stuff from Ubisoft, which we talked about a few weeks ago, and some Nintendo news, as well as a few more game announcements and such. Um, let's do the intro quickly. If you're not following Myriathon, please do so. The socials are all on the overlay, but the Twitter is the Myriathon, the YouTube search Myriathon in the YouTube search bar, and feel free to follow us on Twitch as well. And for that, I think let's just get right into it. Let's just get into this. So let's start with just general updates on Myriacast stuff. Myriacast plays last week on Thursday was at after our live stream. Excuse me, I almost almost choked on myself breathing. And we did Ghost of Tsushima as well as some Gundam. So we are going to be doing something similar this week. We're not sure if it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima or something else, but that's really up to Spoon. And we'll be hosting that again probably sometime after 7 p.m. Pacific time after Spoon has dinner. So keep an eye out for updates on that from my Twitter, Automaton89, as well as Spoon's Twitter, SPT Spoon, and we will get you updated on that. There's no other live shows, so we won't be doing any other view parties with other events because we don't know of any off the top of our heads for the near future. So now that that's out of the way, let's go right into gaming news and such. Let's start with our game announcement here that I see. I've got a Persona 5 Scramble. Can you tell us what that is, Spoon?
Yeah, I think this was just announced like today, actually, this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't
Mm-hmm.
exactly remember, but Persona 5 Scramble was announced for a Western release. This game is already out in Japan. It came out, I think, earlier this year, maybe February or so in Japan. It is a basically Persona Muso game, or Dynasty Warriors Persona, if you will.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's Persona 5 with the Persona 5 characters. I don't know anything about the story in this particular game, but if you like Persona 5 and you like Dynasty Warriors, or either, you'll probably enjoy this.
Yeah.
It looks pretty, you know, it's not. They put a bit of a Persona twist. I've seen a bit of the game. They've put a bit of a Persona twist on the Muso elements with there are weaknesses, and you have like magic that you can use and to hit weaknesses and
Mm,
stuff like that. So
right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said, this game has been out in Japan for almost 6 months now, I think, and this is the first we're hearing that they're actually localizing it. So
Okay.
cool announcement, but they didn't say when it was coming out, just that
Got it.
they were going to localize it for the
Just that
West.
it's
So
it's going to happen. Okay. Let's take a look at something else on my list here. Let's go into the Nintendo source code. We're going backwards on our list. Can you talk a bit about that, even if you don't know much at all?
yeah, I don't know too many details about this, but I kind of saw it as a headline, and I read a very short article on it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this was at the end of last week or something like that. Some source code for some old school Nintendo games for, I guess, according to this article that you're looking at, like
Yep.
early Mario, Zelda, Star Fox, Pokemon, stuff like that. So the big thing to come out of this, at least from what I heard or what I saw on Twitter, at least, was that all those rumors that Luigi was playable in Mario 64 weren't true in the actual game, but it was planned at one point, and it's there. It's in the code. It just
Mm-hmm.
never got implemented into the game. Um, so yeah, that was the big one that I saw that came out of this. Again, I didn't dive much deeper than that. So
Yeah, it seems like there were a
uh,
lot of Super Nintendo and 64 games in here.
yeah,
They're saying Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and Yoshi's Island were part of this leak. Of course, Nintendo's not going to really comment on it. Um, I think some data miners actually confirmed this. It was saying in the article. Um, yeah, and then like the Luigi thing, there were looks like there were assets. There's a bunch of assets I'm sure that were in Super Mario 64 because I thought I saw something on Twitter for that too. So it looks like there's lots of stuff in here. So kind of interesting that it got leaked somehow, and that's like, I mean, yeah, with assets it's one thing, but if there's actual, so I guess I'm hard to hear, but it's actually like assets is one thing, but it's a total different story when you're actually dealing with code. I'm sure they were reusing that code for a couple other games too, so that's a big deal. And I'm turning myself up on my mic, by the way, just because, yeah, if I turn away from my mic, it might be difficult to hear. So let's see, what else do we have besides that? Okay, so we have the Ubisoft Women Don't Sell articles, which I really wish that wasn't the wording that had been used, but it was. So let's go ahead and go to my view party overlay and let's take a look at this article. So, I just realized it's kind of hard to read this article. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, so let's full screen it now. So basically what happened was there was some talk with Assassin's Creed Odyssey at some point where people within the who were making the game and were involved wanted Cassandra to be the only lead. And so they sort of brought this to the attention of the marketing team at Ubisoft, and apparently it just like didn't go through at all because, as it says down here, following the report, former Ubisoft employees took to Twitter to back the claims. One former employee claimed she was told on many occasions that women don't sell, while another said she was told that the protagonist must be straight white alpha male. I don't know, like, if this is like, it seems like multiple sources are confirming that this was said. All of the directives came from Ubisoft marketing department or from Serge. I'm not even going to pronounce that last name, but both of whom suggested female protagonists wouldn't sell, which is like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard before, because there's plenty of protagonists in popular game series that are women, and it's just like silly to see this conceptualized and to hear that. But
And everything I've heard about Odyssey, at least, is that like Cassandra is way better than Alexios. Is it?
yeah,
The
it's
male.
Alexios. Yeah,
That Cassandra is like way more interesting. Like the voice of the actress is better, and that basically if you play Odyssey, you should play as Cassandra. And that seems to be what the intent of the devs was, because
right,
they had wanted to make it just Cassandra, and then they
right,
were basically forced to put Alexios in the game as
right.
well. And I read, it wasn't this article, but I read a different article about this, that for both Syndicate and for Origins, there were similar plans. So I don't know if Syndicate, I I think what I read was that they had to scale back the role that Evie had in the game, and that she was supposed to be more prominent than
Mm-hmm.
she ended up being in the final game.
Yeah,
And for Origins, what I read was that the initial intent was for the male character, whose name I do not remember. It was like
oh
by
yeah, Bayek or something like that.
Bayek or something like that, was supposed to die, and you
Right,
were supposed to like pick up and play as his wife or
right.
something like that
Which I
for the
don't
rest
think,
of the game.
which I don't know if anybody would have minded at all. But sorry, I want to continue a bit before you go further. It's a there was other stuff with the abuse and toxic environment and harassment of Ubisoft. That's kind of a separate article that I haven't pulled up here, but reportedly the environment at Ubisoft was just incredibly sexist. It was like people. There was like an occasion I read of a story, and again, it's hard to confirm if everything's true, but we're just sort of going off of what people are saying. In that there was an employee who happened to be a woman. She was like in a meeting, had left the meeting, and the person who was leading that meeting ended up turning on like a suggestive song with her referenced as part of the lyrics into it. He like added his own like, so, and it's just like, if that's some of that stuff is true, you just got to wonder why someone would even like do something like that. I mean, it's just like it's just crazy. So earlier this month, 3 Ubisoft executives stepped down from their roles following allegations. The guy Serge, who we talked about before, Cecile Cornet, and Montreal CEO of Ubisoft Montreal, Giannis. I'm actually going to say it's Mallet, not Mallet here. I don't think it's Mallet. Um, but there's been quite a few allegations swirling around Ubisoft, and this one in particular. If you're a marketing person at Ubisoft and you said this, get your brain checked. That's a really stupid comment. So just because again, like I think Cassandra for me was like really entertaining, and she's the canon character, so I get having multiple characters represented as like an option, but their dialogue is exactly the same. It feels like one of these characters was shoehorned in there, and
Which apparently for this one was the male. The
it
male was an
if
afterthought.
it feels like what they're saying might be true. And obviously, I'm just sort of we're just speaking conjecture here, I suppose. But um, I, their dialogue is exactly the same. Like there's no difference. And as far as like Syndicate's concerned, I think yeah, Evie has less. We'll call it screen time than Jacob. I think was the male character's name. And yeah, I mean, I thought Evie was a great character. They had Evie as a bonus character that you could download into your Odyssey game, and I did. She was like a lieutenant on your boat crew. So it just, I don't know. It feels like some people at Ubisoft were like, look, Evie was supposed to be a bigger role, and they're sort of like pushing her maybe a little bit because you don't get Jacob as an option of like added DLC characters in Odyssey. That Evie is the one you get. So there's somebody I think there's plenty of people I think at Ubisoft that want Assassin's Creed to have more of that. Let's throw a female lead into the mainline story, and I really wish that they would just let's just see what happens when that occurs. Let's see what happens to sales, because I can almost guarantee that I don't think anything will change. So we've seen plenty of female lead characters do just fine in today's environment. So anyway. What else do we got here? That was pretty much it for the news segment. We're gonna shift gears a bit into games we're playing. So Spoon has been playing. He played Ghost of Tsushima on the Myriacast plays we had last week. You want to sort of go into other stuff you're doing besides that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this weekend was the last beta weekend for Gundam
Mm-hmm.
for Maxi Boost on, so I was playing that a decent bit over the weekend. The game comes out on Thursday for
Mm-hmm.
those of you who are interested, which is probably no one, but I'm going to continue to sell it. And the other thing I've been dabbling in, I suppose, is the new Tales mobile game called Tales of Cristoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I've probably played it more than I intended, to be honest. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit addictive,
Yeah.
to be honest. But yeah, I mean, and that it came out like a little over a week. I want to say it came out like a week and a half ago or
Okay.
so.
Yeah. Well, any other stuff besides those two? Or excuse me, three, because I know you have Ghost of Tsushima, Gundam, and Tales.
Nope, that's
Okay.
pretty much it. I've been watching, Baseball's Back, which is now apparently turning into
Which is
clown
really
fiesta.
bug-ass.
Though
Oh
my
no!
West Coast teams, my Dodgers are just fine as far as I know. So
It's the Florida team, the Marlins, and I
yeah,
think
of course it's the Florida team because
uh,
Florida's actually the
I
worst.
guess the White Sox manager too. There was some speculation where he might have tested positive. They're not sure yet, but anyway, it's rough already. But so for me, Far Cry 5 is still pretty enjoyable. I'm not going super hard into that. I'm enjoying my like stream here and there of it, playing a couple hours. I've been enjoying that. That's a game like I can feel your frustration with the Gundam side not having as many other people to play with. But you have some of our buddies from college playing with you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have a couple people
Yeah, yeah,
who I play with, so
yeah,
it's not like
yeah.
you know crying in the corner playing Gundam, but
Yeah.
um, I just wish Otto would play.
I know every time I got 1 point already against me,
Hmm.
for that. So, but anyway, with Far Cry, I've been enjoying it. I would love to have other people play. I have somebody who's been jumping into my streams playing with me, which is nice. But it's also nice to get other people as well to join. It's like it's like $9. The other thing that I've been doing is I've tried Tales of Cristoria, and full disclosure, I had like a Mimi audio clip set up for this, and I didn't actually play it because I don't know, I just haven't done it. But I have it ready to go if need be, and I want to like fully say something. So we talked about mobile
We
trash,
have
as we put
we
it.
have we have consistently trashed on mobile
We've
games and
consistently trashed on them.
microtransactions and
It's
these
it,
kinds of things. So
yeah, we've been really consistent with our disagreements with mobile trash. And Tales of Cristoria is mobile trash. I am playing it. It's got a pretty comprehensive story so far, and it really has a good. It's done a good job of keeping the Tales themes going, so I'm appreciating that. Um, but it's still. I'm just gonna say it's still mobile trash. That doesn't change how I feel about mobile trash. It's just that in this case, I'm giving it a try. So
yeah, I mean the game itself is like relatively fun to play, but it's very simple as you can expect from a mobile game. Nothing complicated.
right,
Um, the pricing model is awful as
it's
in most
absurd.
mobile games.
Yeah.
It's like with the base prices, there are some like monthly and one-time deals you can do
Mm-hmm.
if you decide to buy the gems, which are the premium currency that are called gleamstones.
Right.
But it's basically on the standard pricing, it's like $40 for a
Right.
10 pull, which is above market price,
It's
I
above
believe,
market.
when we,
Yeah, it's
we, we
above
talked
market.
we talked about it yesterday. So
Yeah, that's like a huge concern for me. That it's like they're already going above market rate is pretty concerning. And we've sort of talked about that in different verticals or different games, I suppose would be a better way to put it. But um, I think I'm testing the waters on it. It's still mobile trash. I'm not changing my mind on that for sure. But it's a Tales game. I'm willing to give a Tales game a good shot and be honest. And it seems like the story, I'm not too far into it. It's pretty good so far, and it's getting real. The main character is very like I'm just shaking my head every time he
he's
talks.
annoying.
He's
He's
annoying,
annoying.
but I like the Tales themes that they've kept. There's a lot of story. I'm surprised at how much story quests there
Yeah,
are compared to
there is.
actual quests
And
that are
and
combat
and
based.
the and every at least the main story, all of them are fully like all the dialogue is voiced.
Yeah,
So that's in Japanese. There's no dub,
yeah,
but
and
um,
that's not too abnormal, but still, um, yeah. I just wanted to sort of talk about that because again, we spent like a whole almost a chunk of an episode just being like, yeah, mobile games suck. We'll never play them. That we definitely exaggerated on that for sure.
I mean,
So,
I've played three gotchas,
mm-hmm,
which includes Cristoria. I played Kingdom Hearts, Unchained Key / Union Cross. I haven't gone back for Dark Road yet,
mm-hmm,
um, and probably won't, to be honest. Um, and I played Fire Emblem
right,
Heroes, which
which
I
I
actually
played
thought
too.
Fire Emblem Heroes was pretty good.
Yeah, that was
Um,
pretty good.
I've never spent a dime on any of these, and I don't intend to because I hate the pricing model. I think it's awful. I think it's way too expensive for what you get,
Yeah,
and that tends to be my issue with these things. Same with you know with Valorant. I just think their stuff is super overpriced. Though with Valorant, I know I said last week that because of the pricing model, I'll never play Valorant, and that's not true. I just don't really have any interest in playing Valorant.
that's
I
yeah.
I'm not really into that kind of game. Like I played Overwatch a little bit when it came out, but I just have no interest in Valorant. I played Counter Strike a little bit when I was a kid, and I was just god awful at it.
Yeah, count. Oh
And
my
I
gosh. Oof.
and I yeah, I'm just not super good at these Twitch shooters, and I honestly Valorant to me just looks super basic. When it first came up and the streams were happening, I watched some streams of it, and I'm like, this just looks really generic
It's
to me. I don't like the art style. The heroes don't look that cool to me, and the gameplay just seems really generic. in
It
general.
it leans heavily towards the Counter Strike side. I think they've avoided more of the Overwatch stuff, and the characters aren't supposed to have like any skins too. Like I think that was addressed already. But back to sort of the mobile trash thing. Yeah, okay. We said we don't like mobile trash, and we played a mobile trash game. We still are allowed to not like mobile trash. So, and then finally after that, I've got some like here and there I sometimes pick up, but let's sort of talk a bit about this Xbox Games Showcase now. Oh, I have one more update. I apologize. It's the SAO update. I finished SAO seasons 1 and 2. I talked about this, I think, with some other people as well. This is like I still have to watch SAO season 3 or whatever.
Alicization.
Yeah, Alice's, and I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. Not because I don't want to give it a chance, but because like I I have this like sneaking suspicion that the creator of this show, I think he tries like 50% of the time to make something good. And the thing is, like, I don't want to watch something that's like, well, I guess I can't really go that far, but I was just, screw it. I don't want to watch something that was half-assed. The show just feels like they gave like 50% effort to sections of it. They're like, okay, I'm going to try for about 7 episodes, and then I'm going to go take a nap for a few. Then I'm going to try for a couple more episodes, and I'm going to take a nap for a few. I don't know. It's I'm not looking forward to it because even if it's supposed to be like, we'll say it's the best one, I know that I'm going to enjoy about 5 or 6 episodes, and then the guy's going to fall asleep. The director will fall asleep, and his like up and coming son Todd, who's just got out of film school or something, is going to come in and take a few episodes on, and I'm going to hate those episodes. So it's just not something that I've enjoyed so far. It's like, okay, look, I appreciate you trying for like 7 episodes, but can you at least like not go take a nap for another 6 episodes? Like, if you're gonna have a bad episode, let's keep it to 1 episode or two. So it's not horrible though. I thought I would hate it, and I don't hate it that much. I just don't think it's very good. Okay, with
Yeah, I
this.
mean,
Oh yeah, go ahead, go
it's.
ahead.
I think you said what the show overall is like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. It's fine, but
Yeah, it reflects the effort that the director or people who I'm sure the manga writer or whatever, he gave like 50% effort. Really, I can say with confidence that half the episodes I watched were really enjoyable. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Maybe 66%. We'll say 2/3. 2/3 were enjoyable, but there's that 1/3 that was horrible, and you're just like, what were you doing
just
for that third?
just boring. It's
Yeah,
just
it was horrible.
boring.
Yeah, it was horrible. Also, the guy is like terrible. Like, he's pretty terrible at romance. I don't know why he tried to write a 3 episode romance arc. You're not good at it. Stick with other stuff. You're not good at it. You're really bad at it actually, because you're having other female characters constantly hitting on the boyfriend, and the girlfriend's like, whatever, who cares, whatever. It's like, come on. Okay, let's
I do
go
want to.
to.
I do
No,
want
go ahead.
to say I know we kind of jumped off of Christoria, but I do want to mention a couple of things that I do like about this game compared to other mobile games I've played.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the beginning of the game, basically once you finish the tutorial, they just let you pick from a select list, but
Right.
basically all the main characters from every Tales game are represented. You get to pick one like of their highest rarity, which is called SSR in this game, of a Tales character you like.
Which I was
So
surprised at. I was really
for those
surprised.
for those of you who know me, like my profile picture on everything is Yuri, so of course I picked Yuri. Um, and auto picked
I
Estelle, I
picked
think.
Estelle.
Um, and yes, I mean all of the main characters are represented. Saray from Zestiria, Velvet from Berseria, Lloyd from Symphonia,
Mm-hmm.
um, Luke from Abyss. Who else?
Mila.
Asbel, yeah, Mila from Exilia, Luger from Exilia 2.
Yeah.
So basically, the word there's like I think there's usually I know I'm mentioning one, but from most of the games there's at least two to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vesperia. There's like Yuria Estelle, and maybe even Rita. You could
No,
pick
Rita.
her as
Rita
well.
is. Rita is.
Um,
She's like a high rank too.
Probably have Mila and Jude from Exilia,
Yep.
etc. So there's a pretty decent choice of, pick your favorite Tales character, and you can get this one. And I do feel like, at least early on, the rate at which you gain the premium currency called Gleamstones is not too bad. Like, been playing for about a week or so, and I've probably done like 5 or 6 pulls, 10 pulls. So I've earned a decent number of Gleanstones. I mean, it's not like, I've played a decent bit, and there's also a decent number of things to do. There's the PvP mode in the arena. There's raids, which take a little while to unlock because you have to play through a decent chunk of the story to get there.
Hmm.
Um, and then there's like the main quests, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, it's modeled like most mobile games. You have your resources that you have to spend to go into quests, and they regenerate after time, or you can either spend money, or they have a restorative item in the game that you can collect to restore it as well. So it's got a similar model to most mobile games, but I've yet to really have a problem with not being able to play when I wanted to.
Yep.
Basically, I've always had enough resource to be able to continue playing when I
You're
wanted to, at least early on.
you're a week in and the game just released. Just wait. There have been some games I've played where I've played it for over like a few weeks. Your resources dwindle fast when it relates to very special events.
Yeah,
Very special events, they specifically calculated where the story costs nothing because they want you to finish the story, and then some of the maybe some of the small stuff it's fine, but like very special like 1 to 2 week events, they just drain that point pool
yeah,
where you can do stuff.
yeah, AP or
That's
whatever
where they
they
get
try
you.
to call it.
That's where they get you. So you're not there yet. Once you
Yeah,
get like
no, I
far
realize
into
that.
special events,
And
it's
that
it's
and that I
bad.
mean, and that happened in Unchained Key / Union
Yep.
Cross. I got to a point where I had like 200 AP or whatever, but every quest cost like 30 or something like that. So I played like 5 quests, and it was like, okay, now wait 30 minutes before you
Right.
can play again. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yep.
okay,
Yeah, and
cool.
so we haven't hit the gate yet, which is good.
No,
If you,
but early on, again, Otto's right with the events, and I'm sure when you get further along and do stuff other than the story, stuff starts costing a lot.
yeah,
I have like 45 or so AP, and I have seen a few quests that cost like 10 to 15.
yeah,
So yeah, like that's a lot. So you know, Otto's right. The mobile model will start to
it'll come
hit
through. Yeah,
after a while, but
but enjoy it.
again,
Really enjoy it.
er, the game is enjoyable early on. At
Yeah,
least it'll probably become the super grindy, annoying
yeah,
mobile game after
and
a while. But you
it,
know,
yeah, enjoy it. If you enjoy it, play it. I will still call it mobile trash, but I just call everything that's like that now. It's just like
any mobile
to
game
have
is,
it. I just
mobile
do it.
trash.
There's so many of them that I'm just like, oh, So anyway, from
But for those of you who are interested in the game, a bunch of us are playing. Me and Otto, Blue, who
Blue
we
is
had on the cast once, and our friend Mason, who,
Mason's playing you.
yeah, he's part of Myriathon. He was on the cast back when Dodge did it. But yeah, if you guys are interested and want to play with us, we have a guild. So
It's a secret though. Shh. If you'll only know where it is if you play. It's
yeah,
very secretive. I've purposely made it secretive.
so yeah, you can hit us up if you wanna play with us.
If you like Tales, you'll like it. It's like
Yeah,
it's the story's like pretty interesting so far. I'm kind of intrigued. It's got like
the,
some
the
cool stuff
story
that I'm thinking about. So
the story is actually, it starts very lighthearted like most Tales games, but it gets pretty dark pretty
oh yeah, I
fast.
can
Where
tell
it's
it's gonna get there.
like,
I can
okay,
just tell.
okie
Yeah,
dokie.
I can
It's
just
like,
tell it's going to. I can see it already, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is gonna get bad fast.
have you gotten to the big moment of chapter 1 yet? I
Not
doubt it.
yet. I've gotten to where the guy like the random I don't remember what they're called, but we'll just call them the secret police. The secret police come in and like
Oh, the
take yeah,
enforcers.
the enforcer comes in and like
Mhm.
takes the guy and he's like, "Yay, enforcer, good job. Way to make this guy
Yeah,
disappear. They're saving us
transgressors, be
all."
gone, be
And
gone.
I'm just
Yeah,
like, "My guy, like
the game has an interesting theme of this, like, this, I mean, we talked about it on the, but this like mob mentality thing
Yep.
where it's like, oh yeah, if someone commits a crime and like they get it on these like vision orb
It's a
things,
camera. It's a camera.
everyone's just like, be gone, transgressor, and the
It's
enforcers come and just kill the
oh my
person.
god.
That's
I
it.
just I just thought of this. It's literally Twitter. This game is actually a theme
Yeah,
on Twitter. Holy crap.
yeah,
This is actually a Twitter game. It's where, oh, somebody got on camera with something and let the Twitter masses be like cast this one out into the cancel group. This is actually Twitter. Holy
yeah.
crap. Um,
It's a metaphor for a lot of things. I think
yeah,
cancel culture being
yeah.
one of
It's
them.
kind of
And
funny.
just like this mob mentality where everyone's just
Yeah,
crying for
yeah.
justice, and
I, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I think it's going to be pretty good because I've played some mobile games and they like try to have story and they're just horrible. It's
yeah.
like, oh god.
Chapter one of the story has a good hook, and it's pretty good. The concept is good. It kind of slows down after that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of mobile trash missions where you're just kind of traveling and you just
Yeah.
fight a ton of monsters, and there's really
Yep.
nothing happening.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
but
Well,
the beginning is good. It has a good hook for
right.
sure. So
Yeah, they got to get all that stuff in. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it ends up, doing well. Okay, let me try third. Let's see here. So, okay, we got a long list of games. I just want to point out to everybody, we're probably not going to go through all of them. I can just guarantee we won't. But I've got trailers for a bunch of them. We won't watch the whole Halo Infinite trailer. There's a couple things I think we should bring up with this. This was like actually pretty controversial for a lot of people for a couple reasons, and I'll sort of give examples why. So let's go ahead and I'm going to play the trailer real quick. So let me just go ahead and switch this over to my view party.
yeah,
I'm gonna mute too as well, just in case. So
Halo was getting memed on Twitter.
Halo got a lot of hate, and I can see some of it. I can understand where some of it's coming from. I really do. This trailer again, there's no audio, so don't think there's going to be audio. Um, I I think like I remember we were watching it during the event, so we watched some of this stuff, and for me, like I wanted to see a Halo that really went back completely to its roots, and I did see some of those qualities here. The things that people are complaining about are specifically with graphics. So there definitely were some issues with character animations from people. I'm only pausing here because I want to make sure that I get my that we get everything sort of pointed out. People didn't necessarily like some of the animations that they had seen from this character in particular. Um, Master Chief looks excellent in my opinion. They didn't. They spent every ounce of their dedication making Master Chief's just like armor look great. But the complaints were this guy's animations,
And the brutes.
and the brutes were the big complaint too, and just general graphical quality. Um, I think people expected something in the lines of like, okay, this has to be like, for example, Last of Us 2 levels of graphics quality, even
or
better.
Ghost of
Or Ghost
Tsushima.
of Tsushima, right? And I can understand that. I can understand. Okay, if this is supposed to be Xbox Series X, the most
Oh
powerful
yeah,
console on the market,
probably
it should.
better than that because it's actually next gen.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
next gen. Yeah, it should be better. And for me, I can totally understand not seeing that with some of these images. But again, with Master Chief in particular, his armor looks excellent. This is where all the dedication went of the team. I'm going to pause right there. Every ounce of the art team, they said, okay, art team, this better be perfect. And I can tell it's great. There's so much just like dedication to the armor. You can see there's like various different textures on here that are happening. You can see where some of like the potential wear and tear is happening. It's really good. I think this is like the one thing that people aren't pointing out. Master Chief looks unbelievable, and I think like we're not saying it enough. That being said, let's continue, and I'll sort of skip ahead a little bit to the environment because I want to skip ahead. So the other thing that there were some complaints about, and I think I can understand somewhat, is the guns look very simple in regards to their textures. It just looks like I've heard like toy gun. Um, and then the environment itself didn't really wow people. Um, and
Here's the thing.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Here's the thing I want to say real quick.
No, go ahead.
Um, so when you have games like Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, those games are going for a more photorealistic graphic style, and Halo is not that. Halo I don't want to say cartoony, but it has a slightly like cartoony flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not complete. They're not going for complete photorealism. It's sci-fi. It's a little bit different and out there. It's obviously not completely like cartoony or anime style or anything like that. But I don't know. Halo just has this style and it's different than
Right.
the photorealism of, Last of
Sure.
Us or Ghost of Tsushima,
I
for instance.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I will play devil's advocate. I'm going to continue to play devil's advocate for this because I want to make sure that all the complaints they're there, and so the warthog, I should say. I can't believe I almost said car. The warthog. Um, some have said that the warthog kind of looks toyish, much like the gun. Um, I think that the environment, just looking at it, this angle looks fine to me. Um, and then so the so I'm just like trying to sort of pick and piece out some of the stuff that people were saying. Um, okay, I'm going back. Okay, so let me keep. I'm gonna go fast forward again, and then I think I want to get to like more gunplay here. Okay, here we go. So here's just like the general gunplay, just swapping between different guns. I think the idea of this whole demo was supposed to be just showing all the different guns, how they handle. One complaint I did hear was like this section of the game doesn't feel particularly exciting, which I kind of agree with. This is a weird choice for the demo. I kind of wish they'd done something a little bit more exciting, but you're trying to show off the guns and you're trying to show off the gunplay. So I think that I would say that the decision to make the Xbox Games Showcase trailer this probably wasn't the perfect one. I probably would have saved this for like something else. I hope
Yeah,
I would have hoped they picked something else than this.
they didn't really do a set piece here. They just
Right.
did kind of a, hey, here's the open world. We've got an open world type dealio going on with this this new Halo game, and you could drive around in a Warthog, and you can go to these points on the map. And I'm guessing they just go to one of the points on the map and just start shooting stuff,
Right.
and that's kind of it. But it's not really a set piece. It's just
Sure.
like, hey, this is the game.
Right.
Which, you know, I mean, I get it. It's a showcase, and they're supposed
Hmm.
to put their best foot forward. But in a way, it's not bad either, because so many of these trailers and these demos are so. I mean, I'm sure this was curated, but
Hmm.
they feel so curated and like fake a lot of the time. And this felt a little more authentic to me than, you
This feels
know.
like what you do when you play the game the first time. I mean,
That's what I
really, this
mean.
is kind of what you do. Yeah.
That's what I mean by
Yeah.
authentic though. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what you're gonna get when you boot up the game. Instead of just showing, the most exciting moment of the game. Be like, hey, the whole game is like this. It's like, no, it's not. This is just like one 10-minute vertical slice that's just this
Right.
little bit.
Yeah.
So
Um, this is the point of contention, by the way, for most people. This is the issue right here. Is the brutes. There were a couple issues. You're not going to be able to get the audio here, so I apologize. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. Oh, I did. I got the perfect pause. I don't even have to show my image. The issue is so actually the brute here is screaming, but you'll notice the mouth isn't moving at all. So this is a big one for people. Is that in this shot, I can't. I'm not turning the audio on purpose because I want to actually post this video without problems. But the brute here is screaming. Okay. Additionally, people were not particularly impressed with the texture here. I'm gonna see if I can. So the quality of the brute. So here, I just paused it there. Was
oh
definitely
man, that
something.
This is like the meme. You actually got the perfect frame.
This
This
is
is like the
actually the perfect
meme.
frame.
This is the meme shot that everyone was using
Yeah,
right here.
this is the meme shot. Really, it is. There's one more shot I'll show, but it's not in this video, and I'll show it at the end. But I can understand here the textures and just like the look of the brutes is pretty bad in my opinion. This is really actually I think the worst thing I saw, um, beyond other stuff. I appreciate the Halo environments, so even just touching up the graphics a little bit I think is okay. Even if it's not perfect, I'm okay with it. But this like brute is really bad. This seems like something from Xbox 360, and it's crazy I just said
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I'd go that far, but
It's close
um,
to me. It's very close to me, and
yeah, I think people. I honestly think people are nitpicking way too
that's true.
much. I'm like, you are not. When you are playing this video game, you are not going to be going up to brutes and like zooming in on their face, be like, "Oh man, that looks like trash." It's like, no, you're going to be shooting them, killing them, and moving on.
Hmm.
Like, I don't. I I think people are being way too nitpicky on this. I mean, I don't disagree entirely. I think, if this is supposed to be the most powerful console and this is their flagship game, yeah, this game should look incredible. And it doesn't. It looks good, but it doesn't look
Right.
incredible. And I think this was kind of the problem with this showcase in general, not just Halo, but the whole showcase. Nothing in this showcase really blew anybody away. This was supposed to be like, this is why you should get on board with Xbox for
Right.
next gen. This is why you should buy Series X or at least like have a PC and get Game Pass or something like
Right.
that. And I don't think they sold it with
Mm.
this showcase.
Not enough.
Like
Not
I'll
enough.
probably I'll probably play Halo, but it'll probably be with Game Pass and on my Xbox One, which I already have.
Right.
So
Yeah. I don't think the all of the games in the lineup that they showed really did a good job of selling the new console. You know what I think they did a good job? They'll sell Game Pass with this. I think Game Pass will get sold, but I don't
and
think the new
I
console gets sold.
and I think that's really what they care about is Game Pass.
That's probably
Um,
true.
and I do want to mention this because there was a lot of negativity around this conference. I feel like people saying like, "Oh, rip." I guess I didn't see this a lot, but it's like, "Oh, Sony's way better. Sony's got this one again. Xbox is whatever. Halo looks fine, but it wasn't anything incredible. Some of their other stuff looked kind of cool, but as I said, nothing blew them away. But I think the one thing that I saw this mentioned in a video after the conference that people aren't talking about Microsoft and Xbox. They are the most consumer friendly publisher, at least game company on the market right now. Game Pass is an absolutely insanely good deal.
Oh, it's very good.
You don't see
Yeah.
every other company is, hey, pay me $60 for every game. Oh, and here's a ton of microtransactions on top of it that you can buy. Not every like okay, Sony doesn't really do that with their first party titles, but like
Right.
Ubi, EA, Activision, they just pumping in those microtransactions. Like, give me $60 for the game, and then we'll give you a ton of microtransactions on top of it, and make the game like annoying and grindy if you don't pay for them, or all the best like cosmetics are behind them and whatnot. I I think Halo 5 did have some microtransactions if I remember right.
It's been too long. I don't remember.
But yeah, I don't really remember, so I don't want to say that for sure.
Right.
But Microsoft, like, Game Pass is such a good deal, and it's not every title that you saw during this showcase, whether you're interested in them or not. If you have a Game Pass subscription, you can play it the day it releases
Right.
on Game Pass. You don't have to wait. There's no like, oh, if you have Game Pass, you have to wait 6 months until you can play this game. No. Day one, when Halo Infinite releases, when Fable releases, when Avowed, when every other game on this list releases, you can play it on Game Pass for it's $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, which includes Xbox Live Gold, Game Pass for both PC and Xbox One, and I'm sure Series X will come on top of that. And apparently they'll the bundle xCloud with Game Pass as
Yeah,
well
which is
down the
awesome.
line. So again, and you're not going to be interested in every game, but there's already a huge library of games on Game Pass. And again, every game that Microsoft has is going to get added to Game Pass for the foreseeable future. Day one, you can play it.
Right.
So I think despite people's thoughts on this conference overall, not enough people are talking about what a good job, like consumer friendly, good job Microsoft is doing right now in the games industry, when every other company is being, not every, but most of the other companies are being absurdly greedy with their microtransactions and their, you know, yearly, $60. I guess sports games is really the worst of this, but just like yearly games, $60 every year plus microtransactions. Xbox has this one-stop shop bundle for here's all our games, all you could ever want. Plus, like, there is some third-party stuff on Game Pass. It's not everything, but
There's
there's
some stuff.
some.
There is. There's some good stuff. The Borderlands collection's on there that I know. I don't know if Borderlands 3 is, but I know the other ones are. Um,
Kingdom Hearts is on there.
Kingdom Hearts is on
Is
there.
on Game Pass, yeah, on Xbox, yeah.
Gears of War, every Gears of War game obviously is on there. Um, because I played the Gears of War games, the new ones too. It's, I think part of it, to be honest, is I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this without sounding mean to certain people. I think there's a group of people that wants to just kind of be like we'll call them the Sony fanboys, where they're like, oh, well, Sony's got all the exclusives, so anything that isn't a Sony console can just sort of like, screw off. Um, and with this, by the way, this is another thing that some people pointed out. There were a couple of people that point out like this character here just isn't looking up to stuff. I would say for
I
a next
disagree.
gen.
I think this character looks really good, actually, but I guess I'm just crazy.
Well,
I don't know.
remember, I'm still playing devil's advocate for everybody else, sort of like saying, okay, this character in particular isn't looking up to the standards that we wanted them to be. So, but I think I think people are going to ignore the Game Pass because it's not a game, it's a subscription service, and I think people are just not going to point that out. I think the first thing they're always going to default to is, well, let's just look at the first party titles and the exclusives. And to
Okay.
Microsoft's discredit, they don't have a lot of good exclusive titles, and I think it's just weird. I think, well, like, keep in mind, like, for me in particular, I have no preference at all. I've always thought that the console wars thing is like the dumbest thing to point out in the world. I'm like, look, if you want to play PlayStation, go play your PlayStation. Your 30 Twitter followers, I'm sure, will care about what you think the PS5 is better than the Xbox Series X is. I'm sure all 30 of your followers will care about that. But like, it doesn't matter. If somebody wants to play the Series X, okay, let them play it. That's their choice. It's not a big deal. The people that are like trying to get their likes and retweets for this stuff, it's just like, okay, it doesn't matter. You're playing into this idea that the marketing ploy of console wars is working. Just step back and realize that it doesn't actually matter that much in the long run. Just pick what you like. If you've got the money to afford it, have at it. Have a great time. It doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't. I don't know. It's just like sometimes you just want to tell people, okay, hey, look, maybe Halo isn't as good as it doesn't look as good as like a PS5 reveal game you saw. Okay, that's fine. Don't play Halo then. Just don't play
Also,
it. Don't play it.
graphics aren't. I didn't hear many people complaining about the gameplay.
No,
People were
gameplay was
just
great.
nitpicking. I mean, I heard some people say like, maybe this wasn't the right thing to show, like we said, because it was just kind of standard. It wasn't really a set piece. It was like, hey, let's show off some guns, let's shoot
Right.
some stuff, and let's move on. But most of the complaints I heard was just nitpicking graphics, and yeah, graphics are cool, but in the long run, doesn't matter that much. Like, I know, again, this is supposed to be the flagship title. This should be their best looking game, if not one of their best, one of the best looking games, if not the best looking game, because it's their flagship franchise.
Right.
But its graphics, I think people were being very nitpicky. I think the game in general looks pretty good. If you take a fine tooth comb and look at every texture, I'm sure you're going to find some bad ones. But the same is true for every other game. If you go really close in on some like the grass check textures, yeah, they look pretty trash. But, you know,
But for me, to be honest with you, for me, this is just my perspective too. Other people obviously are going to care about graphics because I think they're spoiled to it. But for me, if this game had gorgeous graphics and played terribly, that's like a totally different story. This game, okay, the graphics aren't like maybe the best in the universe. They're good enough for me at least. And if the gameplay is anything that will tickle the nostalgia nerve, then and play well, because Halo's gunplay has always been like one of the best things.
top
It's
notch.
always been top notch. If it continues to be top notch, if the campaign is like this open world thing that we're seeing, and we get like a decent sized campaign, and the multiplayer maybe just throw some throwback multiplayer modes in, add a few new ones that people liked. That's all you really have to do to and there's definitely going to be people that I think won't enjoy that and will say, "Oh, this is disappointing." But for me, I'm kind of a simple man, and I have simple pleasures actually. So if the gunplay is great still, and the game modes are fun, and the campaign I can play with a friend or two, and get an open world, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that. The tough part is just saying now, are you is it gonna be good enough to get the new console? Is it gonna be good enough to get the Game Pass? For me, to be honest, like if I have the funds for it, I'll probably just get the new console at some point anyway. It just depends on when I get it, I think, is the big question mark. Um, because I'm not like, I won't say that I'm like a super Microsoft fanboy or anything, but like I said before, it doesn't matter. The games that I play, I have a PS5 too, or PS4 too, right now, and yeah, I don't play all those PS4 exclusives, so it's not a big deal for me. It's like, I don't know. I think some people just make a bigger deal out of the whole like PS5, Xbox, like Xbox would be better. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if PlayStation has anything like Game Pass. I really don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. So I think people just focus
I
in on certain things and kind of
they
ignore others to keep their point valid.
they have like a it's called PlayStation Now. I looked into it a bit at one point. It just seemed really restricted though, and I like don't know what's included in it, and they don't
Mm.
advertise it well at all. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, tries asking what did they show anything to make this stand out as a Halo game? Open world was the big thing. They showed, a large vista with some objective
Yeah.
markers on the map that
Completely
you could
open world.
go to explore. I'm sure there will be linear sections of the
Sure.
campaign when you get to certain points, but it seems like it's going to be mostly open world on a brand new Halo ring. Um, and
A couple
you have
extra
like
tools in your
yeah, you
pocket,
have
I
like
guess.
you have a grappling hook,
It's kind of interesting.
um,
You can like
which you
grab
can use
stuff with
to.
it and use it as a weapon. Um, uh, Here's the thing too. Like I said, I'm pretty simple with this. My expectations aren't super high for Halo in particular. In this case, it looks, you know, it looks enjoyable. It looks like something I could dive in a couple weeks on and really enjoy it. That's all I'd expect from any other game. If a game can make me sit down and play for a few weeks, I think that's worth the purchase price. I would like to think, free or not free. And for me, like I think if anybody else's preference is like, oh, if this is just like a rehash of like of the first Halo, that's going to be a letdown. Okay, sure. For me, actually, if you just rehashed and remade Halo 1, I'll play it a bunch. If you essentially just like maybe change the campaign to be more of like the a progression of the story, and you sort of like went back to the things that really made Halo a strong franchise, as opposed to trying to be too cute sometimes, like trying to add in kill streaks. We don't need that. You don't need that in Halo. Just ignore it. Let Call of Duty keep that. Um, there's like a certain part of it though. It's like, oh well, adding in kill streaks will make Halo better. Well, we don't know that, and we did see that, and I personally disliked it a lot. I dislike kill streaks in Halo. I think they did have it. It was like if you got like a certain number of kills in a row, they gave you some like special drop. Yeah, we don't need that. So I don't think the argument of like, oh, it's not progressing enough in certain areas, so it's a letdown. I also want to be cautious of, okay, well, progression for the sake of progression can also potentially be a letdown. But I
I
think
mean,
I
they
know.
need.
I think I know what the point is to say. Okay, if it's a rehash, it'll be a disappointment. I understand that point. I just want to also say
Yeah,
too, like, let's be careful too.
you don't want to rehash. Like, you don't want to just rehash entire. I mean, they could do that and probably be fine, but
Yep.
you want to make small advancements and adjustments that move the game forward and evolve the game, while at the same time not changing too much that you alienate all your old fans who like Halo already.
Right.
So if you change it too much, you're gonna upset those people. If you don't change it enough, then you won't pull in new
Sure.
people, I guess. But
But
yeah,
yeah, that's
it's gonna be Halo. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be solid. As Otto said, he and I will probably play this. I doubt I will buy a Series X on launch at least. I'll probably
yeah.
just play it on Xbox One
Just play
with
the
Game
Xbox One. Yeah.
Pass.
For if this is the graphics on the Xbox One, yeah, it'd be fine. I think it'd be fine if these were the graphics on Xbox One for sure. Um, if you saw this on Xbox One, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it looks good. Um, I don't know if we've ever gotten a price for Xbox Series
Nope.
X yet, though.
They
They're
they
both
didn't.
waiting.
Yeah, they didn't talk about. Neither company has announced release date or price for
They're waiting
the
for I
next
think one to do
console.
that. They're like
It
cautiously
seems
waiting.
like we are maximum like man, it probably won't come out in December. So I'd say maximum 4 months away from both of them being out.
Right.
And we still don't know the release date. It seems I feel like they need to announce this pretty soon. Like we're running out of time here.
Yep. I hope somebody just announces it. I really do. It's so annoying right now. I gotta be honest, it's kind of annoying. It's like, can't you
Along
just know?
along with the price point as
Yeah.
well. So
So okay, let's table Halo for now. There's other stuff that we'll talk about. We can always circle back to Halo, but honestly, like I get where some complaints are coming from. I really do. Like people can be sticklers about graphics. I understand that. I really like to see beautiful games, but at the same time, let's see if it's a Halo game first before anything else.
and
Um,
again, as I said earlier, when you're playing the game, you're really not gonna notice it unless you actually stop and like look at the textures and stuff
right.
while you're playing. Which who does that?
I don't know. In Halo, I don't know. In some other games, sure. I know people will do that in other games, but in Halo, I don't know. So we've got a couple games on this list. God, I don't know if we're going to talk about them at all. I've got my list going though, so let me just move over to this screen so I can just pull my list up here. Okay, here we go, Spoon. Part of these are going to be rapid fire. Are you ready? We have a
Let's do it.
game called Echo Generation that neither of us saw during the event. They snuck it in somewhere. Let's turn off the audio. It's adventure game. It's a turn-based adventure game. It says in the description. It looks for whatever reason it looks very Lego-y. It looks like Lego blocks. I thought of Minecraft to a certain extent. Um, Cocoa Cucumber. Okay, and the game it kind of looks like a I will say like as a indie game that is come out here, like the graphics are very interesting at the very least. It's kind of an
Yeah,
interesting graphic style.
yeah. I mean, man, the walking animation is like rubbing me the wrong way. I'm like, this
Yeah,
just
it's kind
looks
of
awful. But
yeah, but it's trying to emulate 16-bit, which I like it. I think it looks pretty good for trying to emulate that.
yeah,
It looks pretty good. Like I like that little house. Um, oh, this is kind of interesting. Again, turn-based, so maybe turn-based RPG type of game. Like I don't know, like kind of intriguing. Optimized for Series X, so nothing with Xbox One in it. Again, it comes out with Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you're getting this. It says 2021, so sometime next year. This is also again, I think we should sort of re-cement this idea that Spoon talked about before, where all these games are coming out on Game Pass. Game Pass is like $45 every 3 months, so $15 a month, as you said before. Like, if you're playing one game a month on Game Pass, you'll almost have fulfilled the price requirement right there. Depending on the game, obviously, but still, Like if I were to play Gears, the newest Gears game when it came out on Game Pass, and paid $45 over 3 months and just canceled somewhere in there, and just ended it early, I basically paid $45 to play Gears of War 5. Is the idea. So I think, um, so I'm getting updates on stuff. So I think that like it's really important. But anyway, back to this, Spoon. Quick thoughts on this, Spoon. You saw a little bit of it.
Uh, looks looks cute, I guess. Yeah, I didn't like the walking animation. It looked really weird, but maybe that's what they're going for. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, it looks cute. I doubt I will play this, but I'm not. I just don't play indie games very much. I don't know why. I just don't. Um,
We'll see. It's a
I don't know.
turn-based
It's alright, I guess.
RPG. I don't know if it gets good reviews. We'll see. But like, I'm a fan of the graphics. Like, will I play it? I don't know, but I'm a fan. All right, moving on to the next game. We're gonna close this one. It's called Exomecha. I gotta be honest. I was debated. I thought this would be a mech game. It's not.
Yeah, this sure sounds like a mech game. That got me excited for a sec too.
Okay, here we go. So it's a free-to-play FPS game. Online. It seemed like it was online only as well. Um, Why is everything so silver? Everybody's just silver. Okay, all the characters and vehicles are silver, and everything else looks lush green and rocks and stuff. Okay. Interesting. Wait, no, there are mechs. Wait, no, I'm confused. Surfboard. Okay, this isn't a. Yeah, this is not a mech
Is this
game.
it's like Titanfall? Like what the heck is
I don't
going
even
on
know
here?
what's going on with these mechs. These are like big mechs, I guess. And then there's like, okay, there's like a dragon, a mech dragon or something. Looked like something from Pacific Rim I just saw there.
Yeah.
Exomecha, 2021. It's free to play for Xbox One and Series X. I don't know. Uh, yeah, that was like, I actually didn't like watching that. I got to be honest. I was feeling a little like sick there.
Yeah, same. I That looks like generic shooter 101 to
Yeah,
me.
it's a
Like
it's a generic shooter
with mechs,
with some
which
mechs.
I guess mechs are kind of the way to my heart, but I don't know.
I
It
don't know.
wasn't stirring me up on that one.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Yeah, the camera shake was not good. Okay, moving on from Exomecha. Don't have much to say about that. This was Tell Me Why, a Life is Strange type of game. At least that's what it was to me. Again, I can't turn on the audio, but I really want to. I'm concerned about getting the video just like destroyed on YouTube. So basically, the idea is you're playing as like one of these characters, maybe both, and you're trying to discover. You're reunited, I think, after a while, and something occurred in their childhood. Maybe one of them like the mom looks like the mom or someone back here's got a shotgun. And you're now sort of like repiecing together everything that happened. So you can see that they've been apart for some time. I will say that the graphics are pretty good on first glance. It looks good. I think it looks pretty good. This feels like a completely narrative-driven game. So Spoon, your thoughts while we wait for this to sort of finish out?
Um, I mean, I haven't played any of these types of games, I should say. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
they're good. Um, yeah, I mean, hard to say with this kind of thing. If the story is good, I'm sure it will be good. But other than, it seems like they're, a brother and a sister or something reunited in adulthood, kind of reflecting on some sort of childhood trauma. So,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
sure.
it'll probably be a good game, but again, I doubt I will play it because I just haven't
Oh my
played these
gosh.
types of games at
I
all.
just realized something. I don't have the grounded trailer from from like yeah, the showcase trailer. Oh my god, I don't have the grounded showcase trailer. The best trailer of the whole event. Okay, we're watching this one next, by the way. Yeah, so this one. So I've played Life is Strange. The animations in this game look a little stiff. Let me take a look at some of these, especially when they were running or walking. Yeah, okay, I can probably get on board with that a little bit with these types of games. Okay, yeah, I could probably see it a little bit. But anyway, with Life is Strange, yeah, the story was really strong. The characters were really good. It got me invested into the game. I thought Life is Strange was one of my favorite narrative games I've ever played. If this is anything close to that, I will really enjoy playing it. But it's all dedicated on how these two are built out. Really, even one of these two is not a particularly interesting character or good character, it can ruin the whole experience. So I'm hoping for the best. Looks like chapter one, so it's a chapter based game, which is why we said it's like Life is Strange. August 27th, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox One. Nothing with Xbox Series X on it though, which I thought was interesting. It just says Windows 10 Steam, so it will be coming out on Steam. So, yeah, I'm hopeful if it's even close to Life is Strange. I would love to give it a shot. Okay, this is Grounded. This was the best trailer of the entire event, in my opinion. I'm gonna play the audio for it because Lord help me, this was so good, and I don't care.
Yeah, the memes were strong with this one.
This was memey.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered. From Obsidian Entertainment, the makers of games that are nothing like this one. This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
So, I was literally gonna say this is right down Karu's alley.
Yeah, this is actually right up Crew's alley.
This is basically Karu and Try, obviously. We'll play this. Battletoads, I love the Battletoads really much. Love that. So Xbox Game Pass, One, looked like Steam and Windows. So this stole the show for me in particular. This was like, the game itself was interesting only because the trailer was so good. Spoon, your thoughts on this trailer and game?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have any interest in playing this game, but I loved the trailer. I thought it was hilarious. I actually laughed out loud a couple of times in this trailer during our live stream of it, and that this was legitimately a really, really good, funny trailer. Made the game look moderately interesting. I mean, I guess if like I have some friends who play it, and like you and Kuru and Try,
right?
Maybe I'll jump in and give it a shot. Because again, Game Pass. So yeah,
we're gonna sound like we're like sponsored by Game Pass, but like seriously, Game Pass, like all these games coming on Game Pass, it is really appealing for me to like consider that. But I guess there's like a game preview in a day. Tell me why it's actually made by Life is Strange developers. Oh, I have the utmost faith then that game will be great, and you should consider looking into it when it comes out. Like I have the utmost faith then if it's the same people. They do an excellent job with their games. But yeah, I'm excited. Wait, did the Life is Strange studio, did Microsoft buy them? Who's the studio for Life is Strange actually? I'm genuinely curious.
I thought like Square published Life is Strange.
Entertainment, yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Cause like, yeah, Don't Nod Entertainment. Can someone please check if Microsoft purchased them at some point? Because it looked like that game. Like I know it comes out on Steam, but it looked like it was almost exclusive to Xbox. I don't know if Life is Strange was a PlayStation game, but Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, this game is like, I think this game will be kind of fun to play with people. The trailer got me interested in that. I had no idea what this was, but this trailer got me really interested. Okay, moving on. Next game, a game that I don't know how to feel about this one. I've never played any of these games. It's called State of Decay 3. Never played any of them. Looks like partnership not bought out. Still a good idea. That's a good idea, Microsoft, to do that.
Oh, is this one of the zombie games?
It looked like a zombie game to me. I know
Don't
nothing
care.
about these. I know
Do
nothing
not
about
care.
these. It's a survival game. It says on here. It says survival. Oh, it's It's zombie survival video game.
Yep. Do not care.
Okay.
Automatic tune out for me.
Okay, Spoon's out already. It had zombie in it as the description, and he's out. For me, again, if it's a zombie game, I feel like we get lots of these, but I haven't played any of this series. This does not look like a zombie game. It feels like it feels different. Was a buggy disaster from... Okay, so this game... it doesn't look like a zombie game, though. It's weird. I think the animal was a zombie in this trailer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like... look, we're following this character, and it's... Oh, something happens. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... Oh, yeah, it was this. It was like a zombie something. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I have no words. I've never played any of these games. Yeah, that's a deer. Oh, shoot. Is that gonna get banned from Twitch? So let's move on to the next one because I gotta be honest, all I felt was boredom during that.
Yep. Do not care. I have nothing to say. Won't play it. Don't care. Rip.
So, next game, Avowed. It's coming out on sometime. Don't remember when. Don't think it ever had a release date or anything.
Always known.
Yeah, I think this was a hey, this exists type trailer.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Sorry, I got to clear out the audio again. So this is Obsidian Entertainment again. Obsidian had multiple things for this.
Yeah, they actually had three trailers
Yeah,
in this. In this.
Microsoft's like, look, you guys better have like 3 different things to announce because we need something.
Yeah, Microsoft just bought Obsidian. Get to work. Get to work, boys.
Get to
Get
work.
us some.
So
Get us some hard-hitting
Well,
exclusives.
I mean, they've got cash now. They've got the cash. So, all right. So this is a So hopefully we'll see it near the end. But apparently this is set in the universe with Pillars of Eternity.
Yep, that's what I heard.
Know nothing about that series at all. But this, I don't think Pillars of Eternity is a Skyrim-esque fantasy game like this.
Nope. Pillars of Eternity is a isometric action RPG.
Yep. So this looks a lot like Skyrim. This is the one thing that people said the entire, after the event was like, okay, Obsidian teased this kind of Skyrim-esque game, and it looks very similar. The graphics look good, and I hope it's not a buggy mess.
It's a high fantasy first-person RPG. I mean, Obsidian, is the company that made Fallout New Vegas. They made Outer Worlds, so they are known for these first-person RPGs. They have not tackled the high fantasy realm, as far as I know, at this point, and this will be their first foray into this genre. And I hope they can make the combat more interesting than Skyrim, because Skyrim's combat is Resident Sleeper.
Yeah. Also, Skyrim was a buggy mess. There are obviously some really good qualities about Skyrim, but the idea is that Obsidian released this trailer for Avowed. I'm interested, obviously. I think this high fantasy type of game will be really enjoyable, and I have a lot of faith in Obsidian. Obsidian does some good work, so I'm giving them a chance here. It's so weird that Grounded, the one we saw before, was an Obsidian game, because it's just like you see this one and then Grounded, you're like, where did this come from? Anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, the trailer said it from the developers who make games nothing like this one.
So, I don't have a trailer for it, but we'll just talk quickly about the other Obsidian thing that they announced. An Outer Worlds DLC was announced. It's called Peril on Gorgon. It looks like a pretty comprehensive DLC. Seems like there's a totally new area. I imagine lots of new quests. And if you're an Outer Worlds fan and like finished that game and really enjoyed it, that DLC will probably be right up your alley. So, how does the DLC work with Game Pass? That's a wonderful question.
Yep, I don't know the answer to that. It would be cool that if you got the DLC for free if you had Game Pass. That would be ideal, but I don't know if that's true.
God,
so,
I doubt it. Yeah, that's a great question, actually.
it might be. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd have to look that up. I do
Yeah.
not know the answer to that.
that's a Google check right there because I don't know. So yeah, that was Avowed. Next game that we have a trailer for. There's some other games we don't have trailers for. I can mention those. Oh yeah, here's a game that we don't have a trailer for. Forza Motorsport. Your thoughts, Spoon?
It's Forza. Apparently, it's popular because they keep making it, but I don't play racing games except for Mario Kart. So I don't.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't play the realistic racing games. I have no interest in
Yep.
cars or realistic racing sims. So I don't care.
Yep. Don't care.
I just don't.
That's
It's one of their flagship series on Xbox. I know it is, and again, I know it must be popular because they keep making it. So, and I know people love it, but if you're not a fan of that genre, I just do not care.
Yep.
So
I agree. But anyway, it happened. So, again, there was other stuff that I didn't talk about. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I guess, is getting like a more enhanced version for Xbox Series X. And you still have to buy the DLC, but subscribers will receive a discount. Okay. Okay. I can kind of see that.
10% is so little. If the
10% is
DLC is,
pretty little, but
$30, you get $30. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but
yeah,
that
it's kinda
seems a little
surprising.
weak. But whatever. I mean, if you have Game Pass, you got the game for okay, it's $15, so you get $1.50 off.
Cool.
But if you have but if you have Game Pass, you got the game itself for free. So, I mean, if you played it on Game Pass, but
Right. That's yeah. Okay. Okay, and then there's like other games on here. I'll just go and name the other ones. There was a Tetris game, Tetris Effect Connected. Okay. It's a Tetris game.
I mean, I heard good things about Tetris Effect. I heard like it was really cool. It was like a VR Tetris. It had
Mhm.
good music apparently, and it just looked really cool. But in the end, it's Tetris.
It's Tetris. It's not much more to say. I'm sorry. If you like Tetris, be right up your alley, I guess. Let's see what else was there. There was this game called Stalker 2. Apparently, like that's a game that hadn't been gotten in a sequel for a long time. I know nothing about it. So
I feel like I've heard of it,
I
but
feel you've heard of it.
never played the first one.
There was
So,
also
I
a
don't know.
Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. Warhammer
Yeah, I think
40K Dark
this
Tide.
was a shooter. Like I
a
think this
shooter
was a
game.
shooter.
Yeah, something like that. The last one, which I don't have a trailer for sure, is called The Gunk. It's where you clean up a planet of gunk. I don't have anything else to say. It was the one where you like had like that vacuum and you were cleaning up the black
Yeah,
sludge.
no,
Yeah.
I remember. It's definitely going to be
Yeah.
one of those environmental message games, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It is actually important, but it could be a little heavy-handed,
Right.
I suppose.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. We have more stuff. Avowed. Goodbye. This is Psychonauts 2. Didn't play the first one at all, but there was a bit of excitement here.
It's a cult classic. Psychonauts is a cult classic, so I know a lot of people are excited
Yep.
for this.
So, Warhammer Dark Tide looks like a Left 4 Dead 2 style game. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it was a shooter, but yeah, it was
To
like
some
Left 4
degree,
Dead,
yeah.
but in Warhammer. Sorry, it's Warhammer 40K, not
Right.
base Warhammer.
So, I don't know. It looks like but the gameplay. Oh, and yeah, Jack Black appears to be doing the some of the audio for it. He's doing
Hobo Jack Black.
Yeah, Hobo Jack Black is doing some of
Hobo
the
Jack Black.
songs, which I think is, by the way, a great. It kind of weirdly fits. I know I'm not like putting the audio up for it, but please look at the trailer yourself, and it like kind of fits pretty well. But this is a platformer game. Just
Yep.
like from the gameplay that I saw, I'm just gonna skip ahead to it. There you
3D
go,
platform.
3D platformer. So, yeah, if you're into 3D platformers and like this kind of like it's a very strange art style. I don't hate it, obviously. I think it's just very strange. But if you like it, if you think it's pretty cool, then I would say sure. Um, but yeah, there you go. Again, pretty yeah. Any Spoon? Any other thoughts?
Yeah, again, I haven't played the first one. I know it's a cult classic. I know people love the first game. I have not played it. Again, if you like the first game or you like this kind of game, I'm sure it'll be good. Um, again, Game Pass.
Yep, it's yep as per all of them at the very end. Series X, Xbox One, and Game Pass. All right, so that's Psychonauts 2. Again, if you're into that series, the first one or anything like that, I mean, yeah, if you like platformers too, I'm sure this would be right up your alley. Okay, now we have the Weeb game, which I was completely shocked we saw, because Microsoft does not do Weeb games. We discussed this before. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. I also won't lie, I thought this was a Sonic game when I first saw the things where I was like, oh, is this Sonic? Are we seeing Sonic? So, Spoon, tell us a little bit about Phantasy Star Online. I think you know more about it than I do.
I mean, I know a little bit about it. I haven't played it. Fantasy Star is I think in Japan it's very popular, but it is a popular Japanese MMORPG set in a sci-fi universe. I don't know much about the story other than that. But yeah, I mean it's an MMORPG. I think it's pretty grindy from what I know about it being an MMO, but within the last year or so, I believe Microsoft Phantasy Star Online 2 for a very long time was Japan only, and Microsoft partnered with, I believe, Sega as the publisher to bring it over to the West. So people who like Phantasy Star were very excited about that, and it looks like this game looks significantly better than Phantasy Star Online 2, so I'm assuming people have said maybe this is more like a new expansion or a like Realm Reborn type thing going on with this. I've heard someone say this is more akin to like PSO3, even though they're not calling it PSO3. So yeah, I mean, if you're into MMORPGs or Phantasy Star, I mean, I may try this. I thought about trying PSO2 at one point. I just never got around to it.
And it's going to be Xbox One, okay, Xbox Series X, and Windows.
Yeah, and it's an MMO, and I believe it's actually free to play. So
Cool.
Game Pass doesn't actually apply to this one because it's free to play.
Don't need Game Pass for this.
But yeah, so if you're a fan of MMOs, maybe check that out. Looks pretty good. Yeah, free to play as
also
Blue said,
isn't this not a Weeb game? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is it not a Weeb game?
I mean, it is a Japanese produced game. It does use an anime type art style for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
but still, it looked kind of interesting. I will admit it caught my interest a little bit. It's 3D models, so it's not Weeb. You know what? Fine. All right. Everwild, the game that I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to say with this one. This was Rare. This was Rare's game coming into this, and they came in with something that I just I don't know. I don't even know what to think.
I mean, the game looks really pretty. I like the art style quite a lot, but this was I guess it's a little too long to be called a teaser trailer, but like I don't know anything about what this game's about. It's, about exploring the wilderness and nature and stuff. But I mean, in terms of the gameplay, I have no idea what we're gonna do in this game.
Right.
Like, it's probably open world in some way would be my guess, but other than that, I really have no idea what you're gonna do in this game because the trailer did not give me a good sense of that.
Yeah, I really have no clue. I think this was the biggest concern for me. It was like, okay, I know you're probably going to be exploring a wilderness. You're probably going to have some kind of maybe animal companion. Um, but I don't, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what else is going to be involved in this game beyond that. Um, oh, yep, I remember that. Just like, bleh. I remember that part. So yeah, I mean, it's just like this is kind of like this game in particular. I really wish we had gotten some actual like maybe just like a snippet of what the game might be about besides just this stuff. I like, is this just an exploration game? Are we doing the game is adventure and it's adventure game, it looks like. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
we're just
mean
gonna go with adventure game.
that tells me literally nothing.
Okay, so it's an adventure game that yeah, you're in nature and you're communing with the wilderness, and I really wish this had something more to it. I just don't know what else to say. Like
This game was intriguing to me because I liked the art style and it looked kind of cool, but yeah, I just have no idea what the gameplay is going to be.
Right.
You know, I see us, adventure makes sense. Exploring the wilderness, probably some sort of open world elements would be my guess. And, I don't know. It'll probably be an environmentally charged story as well, to be honest. Maybe, some evil corporation will come and try and, like, destroy nature and you'll have to save it or something.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, if that was the case. With Corporate Commander and his goons.
Corporate Commando.
So yeah,
Oil Tycoon.
Yeah, Oil Tycoon, of course. And the last thing that they showed, of course, was Fable, which I'm just going to call this the Skyrim 6 trailer, because Skyrim 6 had a trailer, I think, very similar to something like this, where they showed like a very small snippet.
Okay. You mean Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, excuse me. Elder Scrolls 6 type of trailer, where it shows like some environment stuff, says a title, and that's it.
Yeah, this was a teaser trailer. It's like, hey, this exists. We're making Fable.
We're gonna make this in like a couple of years.
Fable was a RPG series on the Xbox and
360, I believe.
I think
right?
the first one was on Xbox. I think 2 and 3 were on 360.
Yeah. 2 was was 2 a good one, or was it just one that? Which one was like the?
I heard 3. I heard 3 was bad. I heard 3 was bad. I think people I think 1 like was generally good, but it had its issues. 2, I think, was the best one from what I heard. Again, have not played these. I generally heard good things about Fable 1 and 2, at least. 3, I heard, had some issues. I probably, as an RPG fan, I probably should have played them or should play them at some point. But, yeah, I know people are excited about this because, it's been a long time since there was a Fable game. Again, the last one released, I think it was near the end of the 360 cycle, Fable 3.
It's a long time
Maybe
ago.
it was like 2010.
Something like that. Fable 3 release. Oops, not 4. 3 release. It says like 2010, yeah, October 2010.
Dang, that was a pull. That was a pull, man. That was a straight up guess,
Yeah.
but
2010 was Fable 3. A sequel got canceled multiple times. I'm sure.
they had this. There was this one Fable game that they demoed a couple of times at E3 and talked about, where it wasn't a real Fable game, but it was like there was this multiplayer where it was like a heroes versus villains type thing where heroes would like try to make their way through a dungeon, and the person playing the villain would like set the traps and like try and stop the heroes from progressing. So it was
Yeah.
like that was there was, I think there were, as Blue was saying, that's one of them that they actually showed, and there may have been a couple other Fable-esque projects in
Got it.
development that all got canned.
Sure.
But they're bringing it back finally, apparently.
Yeah, this was actually, I think this was something that people were speculating would get a teaser.
I had heard.
Yeah.
I don't know about leaks, but at the very least speculation that someone was working on a new Fable game.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. This was the last game showed at the event, and let's go ahead and move back to my other thing. So, okay, here's my biggest question, and we kind of touched on it before, but I really want to sort of debate this. And we'll see if we kind of agree or disagree on this. Was this showcase enough to pique your interest in A, the new console, or B, Game Pass, or both?
Well, I've already had Game Pass before, and I already think it's an incredible deal. It's one of those things where I'll probably go on and off with Game Pass. When there's a game that comes out that I want to play, I'll probably subscribe, play the game that I want to play, and then unsubscribe.
Right.
New console, absolutely not. No, this showcase did not. I wouldn't say it was bad, because I think there were some good games here, some games that were interesting, and nothing here really looked bad. There were games that I just wasn't interested in, like all the zombie shooters and that kind of stuff that I just don't care about.
Yeah.
But nothing looked bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think this showcase was a home run. It wasn't the system seller showcase. It was like, you got to get the next gen console because you got to play these 2 or 3 games that are exclusive to that.
Yeah. Okay. For my 2 cents on this, I actually have a third thing that I came away from this. So the first thing I came away from this conference with is that this console did not do a good enough job of selling itself. As far as the specs are concerned, that's just not enough. What's going to pull somebody to hit pre-order for the holidays? I don't think it was enough. I think it's definitely enough, though, to intrigue people more into Game Pass. I think that's like really important that they need to push that because that's kind of their hot thing right now. And it's really enticing. And you just want to get those people on the fence to say, you know what, maybe that $15 a month is worth it to try some of these games. If I don't get the new console, let's at least try them on Xbox One, or let's at least see what this Game Pass is all about. I think it did an okay job with that. The third thing I came away with is this. Obsidian might have been one of their best purchases Microsoft has ever made. They like Obsidian, every game here from Obsidian. So there was the DLC from Outer Worlds, which again, Outer Worlds was a successful game. We're going to say it. Critically acclaimed, and also I'm sure it sold quite well. The Avowed. Oh no, go ahead.
I don't remember. Was the DLC like exclusive, or at least timed exclusive to like Xbox and PC? Probably not.
I don't think so. Outer Worlds was Outer Worlds was like, the only things I know about Outer Worlds was it was like Epic Games exclusive for PC, with obviously playing on PC with Windows 10 or something like Microsoft stuff. And then it was Xbox Game Pass. I think the DLC, like the Outer Worlds game has already sold itself. The DLC will be fine. It'll do fine. Avowed looks like a really intriguing game. I think a lot of people were intrigued by this like Skyrim-esque type of game. And I think people are sort of interested, I think, in seeing a cleaned up Skyrim. I think there would be a lot of people interested in that. And I guess Pillars of Eternity is a franchise that I'm guessing has some popularity, based on the fact that
in that realm, and the people that play those isometric RPGs, I think it's pretty well liked. Okay. I tried playing a couple of those. Like I tried playing Divinity once, and I tried playing Pillars Pillars of Eternity, and they both just I couldn't get into them. They just
Mhm.
bored me to tears.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, nah.
That's
yeah.
fine. But and then like the third thing, Grounded. Obsidian, Microsoft needs to like go find more Obsidians is what I came away with this as. It's like, okay, Microsoft, you need to make sure that you're not just going after indie developers. Go after people like Obsidian. Go find a couple of those, buy like 2 or 3 more of them, and you know, instead of having Obsidian show off 3 to 4 games during your showcase and having maybe those 3 and 2 more be the only interesting things from it, go that. They should also be partnering with more developers, like with the Life is Strange, the Don't Nod, I believe it was. It was like Don't Nod something. Go partner with more of those people. Like get the Phantasy Star Online partnerships. Do more partnerships. I just like it's frustrating to me to see that they're not trying to get more partnerships and more people like Obsidian, which again, you know, obviously it's going to be rare to get an Obsidian in your pocket, but that sells your Game Pass. It's not just you're not getting them for the console, you get them to sell Game Pass too. So go buy or partner with like 2 or 3 more bigger names, please. Even if they're not huge names, go find some names that are actually like worth noting, and please buy or partner them. Please just acquire or partner them. You have the money, Microsoft. Just you have it. Please do it. Like that's going to sell your Game Pass even better, and people might actually not, you know, take your console as a joke, because that's the biggest thing. Is like right now there's just not enough exclusives to catch people's interest in buying into a new console. But even so, like also Game Pass. You want to get more people into Game Pass, or like xCloud, your upcoming xCloud. Go get a couple Obsidians. You can't have Obsidian be the only one showing games where people are like, "Ooh, that looks interesting. Oh, that's cool." I feel like they were the only ones that actually caught my interest in every single game. And the Grounded trailer only caught my interest because of the trailer. So, you know, I know you got Forza and Halo, but like, I don't know. You need to find more. And Rare, I don't want to talk about Rare. I think Rare did Sea of Thieves, and that's actually doing pretty well. But I don't know. Rare is Rare. They don't really catch my interest.
Yeah, I mean they don't. Back when they made Banjo-Kazooie on the N64 and, you know, Conker's Bad Fur Day, I think they were a pretty well loved company, but since they moved over to Xbox, they haven't had a hit. I know Sea of Thieves is popular now, but I heard it was doo-doo when it came out.
It was not a hit when
so,
it came out. It was not a hit when
yeah.
it came out. It's improved today, is I think the idea. It really has a solid base of players though. But this is just Microsoft. You need to. You're almost a publisher now. You got to just get more developers and treat yourself more like a publisher. I just don't think they're doing it enough. They keep getting indie people, and that's fine. Indie developers are fine, but you need to get a couple big names. You can't just go for like the indies. It's not enough. It'll like not sell your Game Pass enough, really. I know you've got some really cool indies on your system, but that's not going to sell. It really won't. So that's what I came away with this conference is like, okay, I like Halo. I'll give it a shot, of course. I don't think this console sold itself well. I think Game Pass did a pretty good job of selling itself, but I do think of a developer they could look at, not off the top of my head. I'm not very good at following developers, really. I think Microsoft just needs to go find developers that have had a big hit recently, or at least a decent one, and just immediately snag them. They just like literally snag them. Go find like a developer that made something that's like a pretty decent hit, and just immediately grab them and say, okay, you've shown competence. You've shown an ability to develop a solid game. And
now here's some money. Make a better game.
Just go make a few games for us too.
Yeah.
I don't know those developers off the top of my head. I wish I did. I really wish I did. But like, I'm not saying go out of your way to get like somebody like, go find the people that developed like. Obviously, it's not possible, and you probably won't do it. But just like go get the Slay the Spire devs. Go get them. Say, you know what, you guys,
That's an indie dev. You said like non-indie
indie
dev.
dev. Oh, an indie dev. Well, still, go get them
That
too.
is
Go get them
indie.
too. Give them some money. But like, go find a decent sized studio too. Get some names that have had a recent hit, and tell them make a big game. Is what I'm saying. But I wish I knew more of those. But I think Obsidian was a good. That's like a really good acquisition. Is what I came away with. They just did a really good job of getting them and telling them, okay, make stuff for us. That was a really good one.
I mean, I think they still have some developers that they bought recently. I don't remember. I think there's one called like In Exile who made a bunch of like old school RPGs as well,
Mm,
and they didn't show anything at this. So I think they still have at least a few in their back pocket that maybe they just weren't ready to show anything
sure.
yet. So I don't disagree with you though. I mean, they need more system sellers. They need more big. See, that was the thing. This conference was, I think overall it was good. There are definitely some parts in the middle where it's like, okay, another shooter or another zombie game, or it's like, all right, I was Resident Sleepering at some of that, but for the most part, this, as I said, this was a good showcase, but it wasn't a wow showcase.
Right.
It wasn't a home run, blow me away, let me go buy. I'm gonna go pre-order Series X right now, even though I don't know what it costs yet.
Right.
Um, it wasn't that. It was good. It was like, all right, this is interesting. Game Pass is gonna have some more cool stuff for me to play on it. But yeah,
I don't know, it's yeah. Like I said, I do wish I knew more like developers who are just like making third party games for everybody to tell Microsoft, yeah, go get that one. I don't. But Microsoft should go hire somebody that knows that and be like immediately go say, okay, here's like 10 on our list. Here's a short list. Here's 10 we're going to look at. And we're just going to go to each one and tell them, okay, either we're going to partner with you or acquire you. Um, and just say, okay, we want to partner with you for like a couple games because we want a couple games on our system. So please do that. Um, I don't know if the right approach is what Epic did, where they're like, it's a year exclusivity. People did not like that. Actually, people really didn't like the exclusivity thing for a year, which I won't say it didn't. It won't say it. It surprised me or anything because I think it didn't at all. But Microsoft doesn't have to do that. They just have to say, look, we're going to partner with you with like a couple of games, or we'll just buy you. Um, Actually, I was really surprised at the Fantasy Star Online one because like I said, they tried with Tails and they gave up because it didn't really work out super well. I'm actually kind of surprised because Fantasy Star Online, it's not much. I don't hear much about it on the Western front. So
I mean, it just came out like
yeah,
not that long ago in the West, and it's a big thing in Japan and in the East. I think. I mean, I think MMOs are just more popular in the
yeah,
East in general, but
I was
um,
surprised actually. I was very surprised, and it was a good surprise. I was happy about that. I
I mean,
really am happy about that.
they've like it hasn't been they haven't been exclusives for the most part, and they haven't been like huge, but the last couple of years at least, they've had a couple of like JRPG things in their conferences. Like I want to say 2 years ago at E3,
Hmm.
the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition announcement was in the Xbox conference. Now it wasn't an exclusive, but Tales of Vesperia originally was an Xbox exclusive. So they're not really getting exclusives, but they are addressing that JRPGs exist and they need to have them sometimes. Like, and they've had, they got Kingdom Hearts over to Xbox. I don't think very many people play Kingdom Hearts on Xbox, but it's there if you
Yeah.
want to, and it is on Game Pass as well
Yep.
if you want to play. Um, and I think they finally ported the ports 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 to Xbox,
Oh, that's
so
nice.
you can play the whole series on Xbox now.
Yeah.
And I think all of those are on Game Pass, including KH3.
Yeah.
So, um, you know, they're there. Again, they don't really have many JRPG exclusives going because again, they kind of tried that in the past and it didn't really work out.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'd like to see them diversify a little more and get more, JRPGs or, Japanese developed games or Eastern
Yeah.
developed games, I should say.
I yeah.
Um,
I think like the big message is just Microsoft just needs more. They just need a couple more studios, really. I mean, Sony has done a good job of like pushing their own exclusives and first parties in there, and Nintendo obviously like has their own first parties, and they do a good job with that. But like again, I didn't obviously I don't know any developers off the top of my head, but like you gotta just keep finding and find the developers too that leave studio, because like there's always the ones that there's like the 5 to 6 developers that leave a studio and want to make their own studio. Somehow they gotta get on the inside of that stuff and go, hey, you 5, you were a part of this team that did this, we're gonna give you some money to make a game and you put it on our system exclusively.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's also stuff I think they need to like somehow keep their head on a swivel for. Because there's stuff like that happens all the time.
Microsoft, I feel like Microsoft and Sony's strategy are actually almost polar opposite. Microsoft's strategy is like, man, look at all, we got Game Pass. Look at all these games you can get on Game Pass, and look at all these studios that we bought and all these different games you can buy. You got indies, we got, we got your shooters, we got Forza, we got Halo, we got your Obsidian RPGs, and you even got Phantasy Star for those you JRPG people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just like quantity. It's like, yeah, you just subscribe to Game Pass, you play all the stuff that's on there already, and anything that comes out. They're the quantity.
Right.
Sony is just like quality. It's like they have like 3 or 4 studios that develop for them, but man, every time one of them comes out with a game, it's a hit.
It's good.
It's like Spider-Man, Insomniac, Spider-Man, and Naughty Dog, Uncharted, Last of Us, etc. Sucker Punch did Infamous, and now Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
So it feels to me that Sony's strategy is just like one hard-hitting exclusive every single year, and Microsoft is like, look at all these games, play all the games, do the thing.
Which the thing is, it's hard to say what, like for the consumer, for a certain subset of consumers, like the exclusives works really well.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how the numbers work out for how much money, what amount of money actually works out best. I'd be very curious to see how that works out, because like obviously when you push exclusives onto to Sony's system, you're like, okay, well, we're going to sell consoles, but maybe we're going to sell something here as well, and we're going to get sales from that. But like I'd be very interested to see, okay, with Microsoft's strategy, they're not pushing out all these exclusives, but is the money from Game Pass sort of like returning it enough where maybe it's not as big a deal for them? I'd be interested. Obviously I will never see it, but I'd be curious. And I really do think Microsoft should take a small page out of Sony's book and get, like I said, try and find another Obsidian, just one more, maybe one, or hopefully 2, but one more that's like gonna push out something that isn't a shooter, please. Just anything but shooters.
Need something. They need a big hard hitting, like known studio. An Obsidian might end up becoming that, like with Avowed and like that stuff when it comes out.
Right.
But they need something that's not Halo and not Forza. That's like a big hard-hitting exclusive that people love. Because the thing about Forza is, again, I know it's popular and I know people like it, but it's not like a wide audience type game. It's a very small, I don't know about small, but a subset of gamers that play that. It's not like, everyone who owns an Xbox is going to buy Forza. Whereas I feel like most people, at least most gamers who own like a PS4, bought Spider-Man, for example.
Right.
Because,
they
I agree. I think they need another series, or at least singular game that's just a really hard-hitting exclusive. Right. At least one other one.
Yep. I would love to see that. I've said it before, but like, I'm not a fanboy, but competition is a good thing. It helps both parties improve. And then there's just Nintendo in the corner like, ha ha ha, we're over here. We have all of our other stuff. Want to see our next Direct and downvote it because we didn't send the right message to you, I guess. Here.
Because we didn't show Breath of the Wild 2.
Want to see a Pokemon MOBA game? Here you go. It's like,
Yeah.
Nintendo, fix your marketing team. It's a little off right now. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this. I've got nothing else to say regarding it. I thought the showcase was enjoyable, but it's not enough. There's like
Yeah.
a certain point where it is enough, and it just wasn't. Although
Not-
Obsidian, you're doing great work, Obsidian. Really, I think
Yeah.
Obsidian's like, I give them a round of applause. They're trying.
I as well. I was impressed with Obsidian's showcase there. And as we've said multiple times, the showcase overall was good, but it wasn't the home run that they needed.
Yeah, I think there were a couple. Like Obsidian did a great job. So anyway, let's conclude here. This was good. I'm glad we got to touch on this. For this week, like I said at the beginning, if you weren't here for that, we're going to be doing another plays on Thursday. Ghost of Tsushima or something else. We haven't fully decided yet. If you're interested in checking that out, it's going to be most likely after 7 p.m. Pacific time, just because that's the best time to do it for both of us. And it'll just be both of us hanging out here, sort of like this, except Spoon will be probably playing, and we'll definitely have a good time just chatting about the game and maybe some other stuff that comes up. If you'd like to follow us or just check out other stuff that we're doing, since since we've got like not just our Twitters, but I will say we talked about some other games too. I'll mention it this time because I know Spoon did. If you wanted to try the Tales of Cristoria with us, you're more than free to let us know and give it a shot. We're not saying it's going to be the best game ever, but we're trying it and enjoying it. If you'd like to try like Far Cry with me, let me know. You can, if you buy it or want to play co-op with me, I'll play with you anytime. I think the game is really enjoyable. Actually, I'm really liking what I've played so far. And the last thing... Oh, no, go ahead.
If you want to play Gundam with
Or you
me
wanna
when
play
that
Gundam.
comes out on Thursday, you let me know for that too.
Yep. Gundam with Spoon. There will be a day of that, by the way, on Myriacast plays. We're definitely going to get a Gundam day, for sure, a full day. And then finally, if you want to follow our Twitters, mine's Autobaton89, Spoon's is SPT Spoon. We'll do Myriacast updates, Myriacast plays updates, as well as anything else that we're taking a look at for stuff that we're playing. Like again, with like the Tales game or Far Cry or Gundam or Ghost of Tsushima. So thanks everybody who listened. Hope you enjoyed the topic material, which was just the showcase. Hopefully we can do more of those when those events happen. And we will see you guys all next week. So stay tuned for the topic for next week, probably at the end of the week. And for the VOD of this one, I will try and post that middle of the week. So thanks everybody who joined, and we will see you guys next week and this Thursday too. Bye.